Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. Cowboys now dealing with another injury crisis that could spiral fast. It's been a next man up mentality for the Dallas Cowboys early in the 2025 NFL campaign. They've gotten some pleasantly surprising contributions from several players on their roster, though the hits keep coming. This time, it's safety Donovan Wilson. Wilson wasn't spotted at the Cowboys' first Week 6 practice ahead of their matchup with the Carolina Panthers, per Nick Harris of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. The seventh-year pro exited late in the fourth quarter of Dallas' 37-22 win over the New York Jets after suffering an unspecified injury. For whatever it's worth, a veteran sitting out a Wednesday session normally shouldn't stir up much cause for concern. He was listed on the injury report with knee and elbow ailments, which is concerning. Not to mention, his availability, or lack thereof, complicates matters for a Cowboys squad that was down 4 starting offensive linemen against the Jets. Wilson will have 2 more chances to take the field and show the Cowboys medical staff he's healthy enough to suit up in Carolina. Already without his defensive backfield mate Malik Hooker, who's out at least the next 3 games with a toe injury, Harris notes that Dallas will turn to Marquise Bell or Elijah Clark if he can't play. Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer may have to pull another rabbit out of his visor for the team's upcoming clash with the Panthers. Bell has logged only 10 defensive snaps this season and has made little impact with an even smaller workload. Meanwhile, Clark has been active for just one of Dallas' first 5 contests and was relegated to special teams duties. Bell has minimal experience in an expanded role, though he was productive when given a chance. In 2023, he logged 94 tackles, 3 for loss, 4 pass deflections, and 2 forced fumbles across 17 games and 8 starts as a converted linebacker. Nevertheless, his presence would be a marked downgrade from Wilson. Clark is an undrafted rookie. While seeing him get increased opportunities would be a fun story, his scarcity of reps makes a vulnerable, depleted Cowboys secondary even more exploitable. Dallas is allowing the most passing yards per game, 284.6, and net yards per attempt, 7.5, plus the second highest opponent passer rating, 117.2. Cowboys get interesting Turpin injury update. The Dallas Cowboys have already had their fair share of injuries, and we are only 5 weeks through the season, and it doesn't seem like there will be too much relief, at least this week. With CeeDee Lamb still a DNP as he recovers from an ankle sprain, and All-Pro returner Turpin still working his way back, Dak Prescott might have to beat the Carolina Panthers with the same offense he had against the New York Jets. But as Dallas practiced at the Star on Wednesday, Turpin was seen out on the field with athletic trainer Britt Brown. "So, how's he feeling?" "I went out there with Britt Brown, did a little rehab on the field," Turpin said. "It basically trying to see how I'm moving full speed. I kind of jogged, and everything was good. So, we just taking it day by day." Day to day sounds relatively positive for one of Dallas' most explosive weapons, right? So, could we see the Cowboys' rocket ship on the field in Carolina? "No, probably not," Turpin added. "I probably come back probably Washington week. That's probably the goal." Turpin has a PFF grade of 75.6, which is 19th out of 125 receivers in the NFL this season. He played 133 snaps, despite missing Week 5 with a foot injury. Turpin has given the Cowboys 11 catches, on 13 targets, for 159 yards as well as 23 yards on 6 carries out of the backfield. Without Lamb, Turpin, and 4 starting offensive linemen, Dak hung 37 points on the Jets in their building as Brian Schottenheimer's unit appears to be one of the best in football. Now, when Lamb and company return, what could we expect? In short, fireworks. Granted, the defense, if it can be just average the rest of the way, then this Cowboys team could easily be playoff bound. But if they keep giving up 30-plus points, then this Dallas team will follow a similar path to last year's Cincinnati Bengals, and we don't want this offense to be wasted. Reinforcements are expected to arrive within the next couple of weeks, and that's when things will really get interesting. But this week, it's as you were for Dak and company. One shocking Ravens blockbuster trade may happen and Cowboys could benefit that. The Baltimore Ravens are 1-4 and might no longer be in the talks of a postseason contention, so they could make running back Derrick Henry available for a trade. According to a few reports, the Ravens may trade Henry for the right price if the team continues to lose in the following weeks, as quarterback Lamar Jackson is expected to miss another week this 2025 campaign. Originally selected in the second round of the 2016 NFL Draft, the former Alabama product had a resurgent season last year with the Baltimore Ravens after signing a 2-year contract. Henry spent most of his NFL career with the Tennessee Titans, earning himself a starting role after spending at least 2 seasons as a backup. The 5-time Pro Bowler went on to lead the NFL in rushing yards in 2019 and continue to be one of the best running backs in the league. However, due to injuries and the Titans not being a winning roster, Tennessee decided to let Henry walk in free agency and signed with Baltimore, where he set multiple franchise records in his first year. Despite that, the veteran running back hasn't looked the same this season after dropping at least 3 fumbles, so at age 31, his career might be winding down. If the Ravens lose the next 2 games, it might make sense to make him available for a trade to see what they could get in return before he gets older. It's hard to imagine they would do this since they just gave him a new extension this past offseason, but anything can happen in this league. The Dallas Cowboys may revisit the idea of bringing Derrick Henry to the team. They had a chance of getting Henry on at least a 1-year contract 2 off-seasons ago, but decided to stick with the guys they had. However, it didn't pay dividends during the 2024 campaign when Dallas had one of the worst running back units. Despite that, the Cowboys might have finally found their long-term starter in Javonte Williams since signing him and Miles Sanders at the same time. This doesn't mean the Cowboys won't trade for another running back. Sanders is a shell of his former self, and 2025 draft pick Jaden Blue is still going through growing pains. Henry won't be in the league forever, so this trade might be the missing ingredient for the Cowboys' offense that already has a solid passing game for Dak Prescott between CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens.